NFL fans, welcome back to the J All Day Sports Show. In today's episode, we're going to discuss a tier list for win total predictions for every single NFL team, all 32 of them. We're going to put them in a tier in a range of where I think each team will finish with their win totals this year. Let's get into it. All right, here we are, NFL fans. Welcome to the tier list. We're going to start with the San Francisco 49ers. They have one of the best rosters in the entire NFL. I think 12 to 13 wins is right around where I think they're going to finish. I think 13-4 is a reasonable record for San Francisco to finish. They have the best roster in the NFL on paper this year. We'll see how the Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams situation kind of plays out. They want more money. Arizona Cardinals are up next. I think they're going to improve this year, but I think the ceiling is right around 6 wins. I think 6-11 is right where the Arizona Cardinals are going to finish. I think with Marvin Harrison Jr. and that offense will be a little bit better. Their tackles are still a little bit of an issue for me, and the defense just is not very good. Next up is the Baltimore Ravens. Do they get 12 wins, 13 wins? I don't really see any NFL team winning 14 games this year. And the Baltimore Ravens have a new defensive coordinator, a lot of moving parts on defense. I think 11-6 or 12-5 is where I'm going to put them. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because of Harbaugh. I'm going 12 wins for the Baltimore Ravens. Next up is the Buffalo Bills. No more Stephon Diggs. They're definitely moving towards that more 12 personnel. Too tight end look, running the ball a little bit more. I think 11-5 is where the Buffalo Bills finish this year. The defense is going to be okay. They lost a lot of their leaders on that defense, so we'll have to see if someone can step up and be a leader for that Bills defense. Carolina Panthers. Whew, baby. I'm going 5 wins this year for the Carolina Panthers. 5-12. They drafted really well. Jonathan Brooks is coming in. We'll see when he starts to play. He's coming off that injury. Xavier Legette. They added Hunt, the offensive lineman from the Dolphins. So they're starting to move in the right direction. I think 5 or 6 wins is kind of the ceiling for the Panthers right now. Now, the Chicago Bears. This is a really interesting team. Do they go 9-8? Do they go 8-9? There's no more 500 teams in the NFL towards the end of the year. I think 9-8 is a reasonable win total for the Chicago Bears this year. Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore just signed that extension. The defense is getting better as well. I like the Bears there at 9, maybe a ceiling at 10 wins. We'll have to see how Caleb Williams looks the first few weeks. The Bengals are up. Offensive coordinator Brian Callahan is now the coach of the Tennessee Titans. Their head coach calls the plays there, so they're not going to miss that as much as they're going to miss Joe Mixon, who is now with the Texans, right? And Tyler Boyd, the slot guy, he's gone as well. I think there's going to be some growing pains. I'm going 9 wins for the Bengals, 9-8. Cleveland Browns. Woo, baby. Offensive line coach Bill Callahan is with the Titans now. He's a great offensive line coach. We'll have to see if Deshaun Watson can be the old Deshaun Watson, right? I'm going 9 wins as well. 9 or 10 wins for the Cleveland Browns. The Dallas Cowboys, everybody. I just don't think that offensive line is very good at all whatsoever. They lost some depth to injury on the defensive side of the ball in training camp. They don't have a lot of depth at wide receiver. If something happens to CeeDee Lamb, what is going to happen with the offense? The running back room is trash. I'm going 7 or 8 wins for the Dallas Cowboys. Denver Broncos, Bo Nix. Playing a pretty tough division too. Now Harbaugh's there. The Raiders are getting better. The Chiefs are always pretty good. I don't know. They don't have a lot of weapons. I'm going 6 wins for the Denver Broncos. I think they can maybe win 7 games. And if everything really goes well and Bo Nix looks great, they can win 8. But I'm going 6 wins for the Denver Broncos. Detroit Lions, one of my favorite teams. Their offensive line somehow got better this offseason. They really improved this secondary draft in Terry and Arnold. I'm going 13 wins. 13-4 for the Detroit Lions this year, guys. They play in a tough division, so they could be 12-5 as well, but 12 or 13 wins sounds about right for the Detroit Lions. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles. I did a video on the Eagles predicting them to be 11-6 this year. Eagles fans, destroy me. I rep the Birds all day long, but that defense to me isn't great. They're just okay. Fangio's there now. I think there's going to be some growing pains on the offense with Kellen Moore. They could start off a little slow. I'm going 11-6 for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Atlanta Falcons. I think they're going to be okay. That offensive line is what's going to keep them in games. Kirk Cousins, we'll have to see how he's doing. I think they're an 8 or 9 win team, in my opinion. I'm going to go 9 wins for the Falcons. 8 or 9 wins. Green Bay Packers. I like them. 11-6 as well. One of the youngest teams in the NFL. Jordan Love was Jekyll and Hyde last year. He struggled in the beginning of the year, but really came on in the second part of the season. They drafted well, bringing in guys like Edger and Cooper. They brought in Xavier McKinney from the Giants to play safety there. Actually, I'm bumping them up. We're going Packers 12 wins, guys. Now, the Houston Texans, I'm going 10 wins for the Houston Texans. That defense is still a little suspect for me, but the offense is so good. Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, Nico Collins. Oh my gosh, so good. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think there's going to be a lot of 7 win, 8 win, 9 win teams this year. All right, now Washington Commanders. I'm going 4 wins for the Commanders. They brought in Dan Quinn. They got Cliff Kingsbury, Jaden Daniels, but the defense is atrocious in my opinion. I'm going Giants. 6 wins. I think they'll be a little bit better than last year, but 7 wins. If Daniel Jones becomes the Daniel Jones of a few years ago, maybe they can win 8 games. Bring in Brian Burns to pair with Dexter Lawrence. That defensive line is going to be much improved. All right, Colts, I think they're a 10-win team, guys. I really, really do. Anthony Richardson, good offensive line. Adonai Mitchell, Michael Pittman, Leulatu, guys, from UCLA. He's a dog, man. I think the Colts are a sleeper team to make a run in the playoffs. Jaguars, I think 7 or 8 wins is where the Jaguars go. They lost Calvin Ridley. The offense is just not great. The defense isn't great. They're just a mediocre team. 7, 8 wins for mediocre teams. I think the Chiefs can win 12 games this year, guys. 11 or 12 wins for the Chiefs. Pretty much everyone's coming back. They did lose L'Jarius Sneed on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to miss him. He's a really good corner. And the Titans, I think they win 5 or 6 games this year. They're still not ready to compete. We'll have to see how the new head coach, new offensive line coach, coaches up an offensive line that was an abomination last year, right? I think the Seahawks are going to regress a little bit. I don't know. I don't believe in that defense. That offensive line still sucks. Geno Smith is dealing with injuries. I'm going 8 wins for the Seahawks. Maybe they win 9 if everything goes as right. But I'm going 9 wins for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're pretty much bringing back the same exact roster from last year. 9 wins, 10 wins if everything goes right. I like that roster. All right, NFL fans, it's the Harbaugh era with the Chargers. I think they're a 6 or 7 win team. Let's say Harbaugh has the great year. Let's go 7 wins for the Chargers. They just don't have a ton of weapons. They're going to want to run the ball a lot. I think they're either going to win or lose a lot of really close games. If they lose a lot, maybe they win 5 or 6. If they win a lot of those close games, 7 or 8 wins is the ceiling for the Chargers. The Rams, I think the Rams are going to be really good, guys. I think 10 or 11 wins is very, very realistic for the Rams. They have a young core on the D-line. They're going to miss Aaron Donald, but with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp healthy, and Matt Stafford is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm going Raiders, 7 wins this year. I think they're going to surprise some people, guys. Get those 7 wins. I don't know. Gardner Minshew was a Pro Bowler last year somehow, so I think Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, they could surprise some people on offense. The Dolphins, I think they're an 8 or a 9 win team. The defense has a lot of injuries they got to get healthy from towards what happened last year at the end of the year. But their offense is still dynamic. Let's go 9 wins for the Dolphins. All right, then we got the New England Patriots. I think they're in actually 3 wins, 4 wins. I'm going 4 wins, 5 wins for the New England Patriots. They're not going to be able to score points. The defense is going to keep them in games. New head coach Mayo is there. Drake May, Jacoby Brissett, I don't know. I think the floor is like 4 games. The ceiling is 6 games for the Patriots. And then we got the Jets, guys. The Jets. I'm going 10 wins for the Jets, guys. Saints, 7 wins for me for the Saints. Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they win 9 games this year as well. And then I think the Vikings are going to regress a little bit. That quarterback situation, the defense isn't great. I'm going 8-9 for the Minnesota Vikings. Is Sam Darnold going to be able to make this offense work with Addison and TJ Hawkinson and Justin Jefferson? We'll have to see how that transpires. It's going to be a short leash for Sam Darnold, but there's rumblings that J.J. McCarthy's doing really, really well in camp, so who knows? Maybe they go with J.J. McCarthy, but there's definitely going to be some growing pains in the NFL for him. So there it is, guys. My top tier, the Niners, Ravens, Lions, Packers, and Chiefs are all going to win 12 or 13 games. I think these 9, 10, 11 is the majority of these NFL teams, and then these bad teams are going to stack up the losses for the lower half of these NFL teams. A surprise team, maybe Pittsburgh does a little bit better if Russell Wilson or Justin Fields is really, really good. Tampa Bay could regress a little bit, and then the Bears really depends on Caleb Williams. They can win 7 or 8 games as well, depending on how Caleb Williams is. Actually, I'm going to move them. I'm going the Bears 8-9 for the Bears. I'm changing my mind at the last minute. There it is, guys. There's my tier list for my win predictions for each NFL team. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with my picks? Do you hate my picks? Do you love me, or am I an absolute dipshit? I would love to know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.